moments in life when you can feel something moving in the unseen. You can't explain it. You can't touch it, but you can sense it like a pressure in the atmosphere. Like the air around you is shifting. And deep inside, you know you're not just fighting what you see. You're fighting what you feel. Many people walk through these moments unaware, but there are some battles that don't come from the physical world. Some storms don't rise from circumstances. Some heaviness doesn't come from stress. These are spiritual battles, silent, invisible confrontations designed to weaken your spirit, break your confidence, and silence your voice. But what the enemy fears most is not the attack he throws at you. It's the authority that's already inside you. You see, darkness trembles not at your fear, but at your awakening. The day you discover the power of your voice, the influence of your declarations, the force of your identity, everything changes. Because when you speak with faith, you don't just defend, you dominate. You don't just resist, you shift atmospheres. And tonight, you are about to step into a revelation that will make every demon assigned against your life rethink its strategy. This is where your authority begins. When you understand that your words carry spiritual authority, something inside you shifts forever. You stop speaking like someone who is begging for survival and start speaking like someone who has already been given dominion. In the realm of the Spirit, words are not casual. They are not empty. They are not simply sound waves moving through the air. Words are spiritual instruments, carriers of power, weapons that shape realities, dismantle strongholds, and command the attention of unseen forces. Demons do not tremble at weak voices or fearful whispers, but they tremble at a believer who knows the authority behind their voice. The authority does not come from volume. It does not come from human strength. It comes from identity, alignment, and faith. When you are aligned with God, your words carry the same force that created the heavens and the earth. The same breath that formed galaxies works through you when you speak in faith. Because faith is the language of divine authority. There are people who speak and nothing happens because they speak from emotion, not authority. Then there are those who speak from a place of revelation and the atmosphere responds. The spiritual world is sensitive to revelation. When you speak knowing what God has already said, you're not making a request. You're enforcing a verdict that was already settled in eternity. That is why darkness fears your declarations. It is not the sound of your voice that frightens them. It is the truth behind the sound. Demons fear truth because truth exposes them, binds them, and breaks every lie they try to plant. When your words are saturated with truth, they become unbearable for darkness to withstand. A lie cannot stand in the presence of truth. And darkness cannot remain where light is spoken. You must understand that authority is not something you feel. It is something you walk in. Even on the days when you feel weak, heaven still backs your voice. Even when your emotions are low, Your spiritual position is unchanged. Demons hope you forget this. They hope you think your authority is based on your feelings. They hope you stay quiet because silence is their greatest weapon. The enemy does not fear your thoughts, but he fears your declarations. As long as you think something, the battle stays inside you. But when you declare it, the battle shifts outside of you. The moment your words leave your mouth, they begin to work in the atmosphere, in the unseen realms, in places your physical hands can never reach. This is why declarations matter. They make invisible forces respond. They make weak places become strong. They make confusion turn into clarity. They make spiritual pressure break. There are battles that will never be won until you open your mouth. There are chains that will never fall until you speak. There are generational patterns that will never break until your voice confronts them. Your words are not simply expressions, they are commands, decrees, and spiritual triggers. Heaven responds to faith, but hell reacts to authority. When a believer declares with confidence, demons have no place to hide, no ground to stand on, no ability to continue their assignments. Your declaration cuts through the atmosphere like a sword, because your voice carries the imprint of divine authority. Your authority is inherited, not earned. It comes from your connection with God. When you speak as one backed by the throne. You speak as one covered by divine covenant. You speak as one who carries heaven's endorsement. And that endorsement makes demons tremble because they know they cannot challenge a voice that carries divine approval. They cannot resist a voice that speaks from the seat of spiritual truth. They cannot overpower a voice that echoes God's word. Even Jesus did not fight demons with physical strength. He confronted them with declarations. He spoke and they bowed. He commanded and they fled. He declared and they collapsed. That same authority is in you. And the moment you recognize it, the moment you embrace it, the moment you speak from it, your words become spiritual fire. When you declare something in faith, you are not merely communicating. You are legislating. You are setting laws in the Spirit. You are establishing boundaries that darkness cannot cross. You are drawing lines the enemy cannot erase. You are activating angels who respond to the sound of God's word on your lips. Angels do not respond to fear, but they respond to faith-filled declarations. Demons do not listen to emotions, but they react violently to spiritual authority. Every time you open your mouth and speak what heaven has already spoken, you shake the foundations of every demonic assignment. You disrupt their plans. You dismantle their strategies. You interfere with their operations. Your words become like a hammer against their structures and a fire against their resistance. Authority is not loud. Authority is undeniable. You do not need to shout to be powerful. You simply need to know who you are and whom you belong to. When you believe in your authority, your declarations carry weight even in a whisper. When you stand in your identity, your words carry thunder even when spoken softly. Darkness does not obey volume, it obeys authority. Demons flee not because you yell, but because you speak truth with conviction. When your voice carries faith, your words become dangerous to darkness. They become weapons that pierce, cut, uproot, and dismantle everything the enemy tries to construct around your life. The moment you realize your voice carries spiritual authority, you'll stop allowing the enemy to dominate your thoughts. You will stop accepting whatever atmosphere he tries to create. You will begin shaping your environment with your declarations. You will speak peace where there is chaos. Speak strength where there is weakness. Speak freedom where there is bondage. Speak clarity where there is confusion. Your voice becomes the instrument that shifts your world. You stop waiting for change and start commanding it. You stop fearing the enemy and start confronting him. Your words become your warfare, and your declarations become your victory. This is why the enemy attacks your confidence. This is why he tries to silence you. He knows that a believer who understands the authority of their words is unstoppable. He knows that once you open your mouth with conviction, every demonic presence has to bow. He knows that once you declare with faith, every chain must break. He knows that once you embrace your authority, the entire spiritual atmosphere around you will shift. That is why your voice matters. That is why your declarations matter. That is why your authority matters. Darkness does not fear a believer who simply believes in God. Darkness fears a believer who knows who they are in God. Evil forces recognize identity. They recognize when a person speaks from revelation instead of insecurity. They recognize when someone is standing in the authority heaven has given them, rather than in the fear their circumstances try to impose. When you know your spiritual identity, you stop approaching life like a victim and start functioning like a warrior. You stop seeing battles as punishments and begin seeing them as opportunities to reveal the strength that has been placed within you. When you know who you are in the Spirit, you no longer bow to intimidation, manipulation, or spiritual pressure. Demons can sense when a believer has awakened to the truth of their identity, and that truth makes them tremble. Identity is not built on feelings. It is built on revelation. It is built on the awareness that you were created with purpose, with authority, with divine backing. The enemy's hope is that you never discover this. His greatest strategy is not to attack your body, but to attack your identity. He knows that if he can confuse who you are, he can control what you allow. He tries to convince you that you are weak, that you are unworthy, that you are helpless. He wants you to believe that your past defines you, that your mistakes disqualify you, that your failures mean you are spiritually powerless. But the moment you recognize that your identity is rooted in God and not in your history, the enemy loses his influence. You begin to see yourself as heaven sees you. And the more you embrace that truth, the more your words, actions, and presence become a threat to darkness. When you know your identity, You stop running from the enemy and start confronting him. You understand that he is already defeated, already bound by the victory that was sealed long before you ever faced your first battle. You realize that you are not fighting for victory, you are enforcing victory. You are not trying to win. You are standing in a win that was already given. This is identity. This is the posture of spiritual power. And when you speak from that posture, demons recognize it instantly. They know the difference between someone who is guessing their authority and someone who is grounded in it. They know the difference between someone who hopes their prayers work and someone who knows their prayers carry the weight of heaven. Identity shifts the atmosphere because identity shifts your confidence. When you know who you are, you pray differently, you declare differently, you walk differently, you handle pressure differently. Attacks that once overwhelmed you no longer shake you. Temptations that once trapped you lose their influence. Fear that once paralyzed you becomes powerless in your presence. This transformation happens because identity gives you clarity. You no longer operate from confusion, but from conviction. You no longer question your worth. You stand in it. You no longer ask for permission to be strong. You command the strength that is already yours. Darkness recognizes confidence. It recognizes spiritual stability. It recognizes inner certainty. When you stand in your God-given identity, your presence disturbs the enemy. Your presence disrupts his atmosphere. Your presence weakens his grip. The enemy operates through deception, and a believer who knows their identity is immune to deception. Lies cannot penetrate someone who is anchored in truth. Manipulation cannot control someone who is grounded in purpose. Intimidation cannot silence someone who understands their value. When you walk in identity, you become spiritually untouchable, not because you are perfect, but because you are established. Identity is not loud, but it is unshakable. A person who knows who they are doesn't need to prove anything. They don't need to impress anyone. They don't need to fight unnecessary battles. Identity gives you discernment, the ability to recognize what deserves your energy and what does not. When you know who you are, you stop entertaining attacks that are beneath your authority. You stop responding to distractions that are designed to pull you out of alignment. You stop allowing the enemy to bait you into emotional wars you were never meant to fight. You understand that your real battles are spiritual and your real power is internal. When a believer embraces their identity, their declarations carry force because they are spoken from truth, not fear. A declaration spoken from insecurity is just noise, but a declaration spoken from identity is a command. Demons fear commands because commands come from authority. Your identity gives authority to your voice. It gives weight to your words. It gives power to your declarations. This is why the enemy attacks your self-perception. He doesn't want you to see your value, because the moment you do, you will dismantle everything he tries to build. He wants you small because you are dangerous when you stand tall. Identity also brings alignment. When you know who you are, you naturally align your thoughts, choices, relationships, and habits with your calling. You stop participating in anything that contradicts the greatness you carry. You stop tolerating situations that weaken your spirit. You stop engaging with people who feed your insecurity. Identity creates boundaries that protect your destiny. It pulls you away from what drains you and connects you to what strengthens you. As you align with your true identity, your spiritual authority increases. Your clarity sharpens. Your faith deepens. Your voice becomes even more powerful, and darkness becomes even more threatened. The spiritual world responds to identity. Angels respond to identity. Breakthrough responds to identity. Doors open for identity. Chains break for identity. Demons flee from identity. When you understand who you are in God, you refuse to bow to anything less. You reject defeat. You reject fear. You reject spiritual intimidation. You reject lies that say you are unworthy. Identity lifts you to a level where darkness cannot dominate you anymore. It gives you the courage to speak boldly, to pray fearlessly, to declare with conviction, and to walk with the assurance that you are covered, empowered, and unstoppable. This is why darkness recognizes and fears a believer who knows their identity. Because that believer cannot be manipulated, cannot be intimidated, and cannot be silenced. They speak with the authority of heaven, and every word they release carries the force to shake the spiritual realm. When a declaration is spoken with real faith, something invisible shifts instantly. Faith is not an idea, and it is not an emotion. It is a spiritual force that travels with your words and carries power into realms you cannot see. When you speak a declaration in faith, you're not simply motivating yourself or saying something positive. You are releasing a spiritual command into the atmosphere. You are activating a divine law. You are planting a seed that grows in the unseen before it manifests in the physical. Faith transforms ordinary sentences into supernatural weapons, and when those words leave your mouth, they begin to rearrange things that were resisting you. They disturb demonic patterns. They interrupt the enemy's plans. They release clarity where confusion was trying to reign. A faith-filled declaration is like a bomb dropped into enemy territory. It creates an explosion that disrupts everything darkness was constructing around your life. Faith shifts the atmosphere because it shifts your internal state before it shifts the world around you. The moment you speak something with faith, you break free from fear, doubt, and the emotional heaviness that the enemy tries to use to keep you silent. Faith lifts you above your circumstances. It gives you the courage to declare something even when nothing around you looks like it will change. It allows you to speak healing when your body feels weak, to speak peace when chaos is swirling around you, to speak victory when you are still standing inside the battlefield. This is why declarations spoken in faith are so powerful. because they do not require evidence. They create evidence. They do not wait for breakthrough. They initiate breakthrough. They do not ask permission from the situation. They command the situation to align with the will of God. The spiritual realm responds to faith with urgency. Faith is heaven's frequency. Whenever a believer speaks with true faith, angels respond immediately because faith carries divine authority. Angels are not moved by fear. They are not activated by worry. They do not respond to empty words or emotional outbursts. But when a declaration is drenched in faith, angels hear it as an instruction. They hear it as a command, but by heaven's throne, they move to carry out what faith has spoken. That is why certain things only shift when you start declaring them boldly. Some battles are not waiting for time, they are waiting for your voice. Some chains are not waiting for effort, they are waiting for your faith to speak. Some doors are not locked, they are just waiting for a declaration to open them. Faith-filled declarations also confuse demonic forces. Demons operate through patterns. They rely on fear, discouragement, silence, and hopelessness to maintain their influence. But when you break out of that emotional trap and declare something with faith, it sends shockwaves into their camp. They do not understand how a believer can still speak victory while being attacked. They do not understand how you can declare strength when everything around you is trying to drain you. They do not understand how you can speak prosperity while standing in lack. They cannot comprehend faith because faith connects you to a realm they have no access to. Your declaration becomes a spiritual punch that destabilizes their assignments. It weakens the structures they built. It exposes the lies they planted. It destroys the footholds they tried to secure. Faith-filled words also breaks spiritual stagnation. Many people feel stuck not because the enemy is stronger, but because their words are weak. They speak based on what they feel instead of what they know. They speak based on fear instead of authority. They speak based on problems instead of promises. But the moment you speak with faith, you break out of spiritual paralysis. You move from being reactive to being dominant. Instead of responding to the enemy, you start making the enemy respond to you. Faith initiates movement in the unseen. It pushes back darkness. It brings light into areas that were overshadowed. It releases divine momentum where there was delay. When you speak with faith, your declarations also become a shield. They create a barrier around your mind, your home, your spirit, and your destiny. Demons cannot enter an atmosphere filled with faith. They suffocate in that environment. They lose access. They lose influence. They lose control. Every declaration becomes a brick in the spiritual wall that protects your life. This is why consistent faith declarations matter. It's not about saying something once. It's about shaping an environment that darkness cannot operate in. Every time you speak a declaration in faith, you reinforce your spiritual territory. You tell the enemy, this area is off limits. You claim your ground. You guard your peace. you protect your purpose. Faith-filled declarations also change your internal chemistry. Your mind aligns with what you speak. Your emotions stabilize under the weight of belief. Your spirit rises within you. You begin to feel the boldness that comes from heaven. You start seeing yourself differently because faith reshapes identity. It pulls you out of insecurity. It disconnects you from old labels. It silences the voice of doubt. It awakens the spiritual giant within you. When you speak in faith, you are not just speaking to the atmosphere, you are speaking to yourself. You are reprogramming your inner world. You are strengthening your spirit. You are building a version of yourself that darkness is terrified to confront. Faith-filled declarations also open doors that were spiritually closed. Some opportunities do not appear until your faith speaks them into existence. Faith has a creative force. It calls things into alignment. It summons divine connections. It releases favor. It attracts breakthrough. Many people pray silently for opportunities, but opportunities often respond to declarations. When you speak something out loud with full conviction, it echoes in the spiritual realm and draws blessings toward you. It creates a path where there was no path. It builds a bridge where there was no bridge. It pulls what was meant for you from the unseen into your reality. This is why faith-filled declarations are so powerful. They shift the atmosphere. They shift your spirit. They shift your future, and they strike fear into every demonic presence assigned against your destiny. Faith transforms your words into forces that demons cannot withstand, cannot ignore, and cannot fight back against. Your declarations become thunder in the spiritual realm. And with every word you speak in faith, darkness trembles. Consistency is one of the greatest threats to the kingdom of darkness because it creates spiritual momentum that the enemy cannot stop. Demons fear a believer who doesn't just rise in moments of emotion, but stands firm day after day, even when nothing dramatic is happening. Consistency is the quiet form of warfare that builds a fortress around your life. One moment of intensity can shake things, but consistency establishes things. It is the daily declaration, the repeated confession of truth, the steady application of faith that forms an atmosphere the enemy cannot infiltrate. Demons can handle a burst of passion, but they cannot handle a lifestyle built around unwavering spiritual rhythm. A believer who is consistent becomes spiritually unbreakable because their strength is not dependent on how they feel, but on who they are becoming. Consistency is dangerous to darkness because it transforms your declarations into spiritual laws. When you declare the same truth again and again, not out of habit, but out of conviction, you establish a vibration in the spirit that cannot be silenced. Your words begin to carve out a pathway, reshape environments, and reinforce spiritual walls around your life. The enemy's strategy is always to break your consistency. He doesn't mind if you pray once. He doesn't mind if you declare something passionately every now and then. What he fears is the believer who wakes up and speaks the same truth every morning. The believer who refuses to stop declaring even when the battle feels long. The believer who insists on speaking victory even while standing in a storm. The enemy knows that consistency builds strength. When you consistently declare God's truth, you reinforce your identity. You reinforce your authority. You reinforce your spiritual foundation. You become someone who cannot be easily shaken because your spirit becomes anchored in what you repeatedly say. The enemy's attacks begin to lose their power because your consistency trains your spirit to rise above your circumstances. You no longer respond emotionally, you respond from identity. You no longer speak from fear, you speak from revelation. This level of stability terrifies demonic forces because they cannot manipulate someone who has built their life on consistent truth. Consistency creates a spiritual echo that demons cannot silence. Every time you make a faith-powered declaration, your words move through the atmosphere. But when you repeat that declaration consistently, it becomes a sound that fills your environment day after day. It becomes an unbroken flow of spiritual authority that pushes back darkness and keeps the enemy from regaining lost ground. Darkness thrives in silence, but consistency robs it of oxygen. When you consistently speak life, speak truth, speak authority, speak victory, you suffocate every attempt the enemy makes to rebuild what your previous declarations destroyed. Consistency is proof of spiritual discipline. Discipline is something the enemy cannot break when it's rooted in identity. A disciplined believer is dangerous because they don't depend on their emotions. Demons love emotional Christians, people who only speak with authority when they feel inspired. Emotional Christians are predictable, but disciplined Christians are unstoppable. They speak declarations even when they're tired. They pray even when they don't feel like it. They make faith-filled confessions even in moments of uncertainty. This kind of consistency carries a weight that shakes the spiritual realm because it is built on decision, not feeling. Consistency also wears down demonic resistance. Some battles are not broken by one shout, but by a steady flow of declarations that weaken the enemy over time. Just like water can wear down stone through constant flow, your consistent declarations wear down spiritual resistance. Each time you repeat a truth, you chip away at the enemy's influence. Each declaration weakens a chain, cracks a barrier, and pushes darkness further away from your life and destiny. Demons do not fear the one who speaks once. They fear the one who refuses to stop speaking until darkness flees completely. Consistency builds spiritual confidence. When you consistently declare truth, something inside you strengthens, your faith grows, your mind stabilizes, your emotions align. You start seeing results not just outside of you, but inside of you. You begin to trust your own voice. You begin to trust heaven's backing. You begin to feel the authority flowing through your words. This internal confidence increases your spiritual power, and demons sense that shift. They sense when your spirit has become grounded. They sense when your authority has become stable. They sense when your declarations are no longer just words, but extensions of your identity. Consistency also scares demons because it produces transformation. One declaration may break chains, but consistent declarations change who you are. They reshape your spiritual posture. They refine your mentality. They remove the weaknesses the enemy once used to attack you. They build a version of you that is spiritually mature, mentally strong, emotionally stable, and deeply rooted in truth. Demons cannot stand against someone who has evolved into a spiritually disciplined warrior. They lose access to your mind. They lose influence over your emotions. They lose control over your responses. A consistent believer becomes too strong, too grounded, too aligned for demons to manipulate. The enemy's goal is always to interrupt your consistency. He will send distractions, disappointments, delays, and emotional storms to make you stop declaring. He will whisper, "It's not working," because he knows that if you continue, it will work. He wants you to give up right before the shift. He wants you to lose momentum. But when you remain consistent, when you declare even in silence, even in waiting, even in uncertainty, you demonstrate a level of spiritual authority that demons cannot endure. Consistency is also powerful because it keeps heaven's flow active over your life. When you declare truth daily, you keep spiritual channels open. You keep your atmosphere filled with light. You keep your spirit sensitive to divine direction. You keep your life aligned with heaven's rhythm. Darkness cannot thrive in a space where heaven's voice is continually being spoken through your mouth. This is why demons fear consistent believers more than passionate ones. Passion burns bright for a moment, but consistency burns through every obstacle. Passion makes noise, but consistency makes impact. Passion shakes a moment, but consistency shapes a destiny. A believer who declares truth consistently becomes a fortress, a barrier, a spiritual wall, someone the enemy cannot move, cannot silence, and cannot defeat. Every time you open your mouth and speak a faith-powered declaration, something in the enemy's camp weakens. Demons operate through strategy, careful, calculated, subtle plans designed to wear you down, confuse your mind, and drain your spiritual strength. But every declaration of truth you release is like striking a blow directly at those strategies. It disrupts their formation. It breaks their concentration. It dismantles their structure. The enemy depends on silence more than anything else. As long as you stay quiet, he can build. As long as you stay quiet, he can plant lies. As long as you stay quiet, he can whisper fear and make it take root. But the moment you speak, the moment you declare truth, the moment you disrupt the silence with words of authority, the enemy's grip begins to loosen. Weakening the enemy's strategy doesn't always happen in one dramatic moment. Sometimes it happens slowly, piece by piece, like tearing down a wall brick by brick. Every declaration you speak chips away at something the enemy tried to build. One declaration knocks down fear. Another cracks insecurity. Another weakens generational patterns. Another exposes deception. Another breaks cycles of doubt. Your words become strikes against darkness, and each strike matters. The enemy wants you to believe your declarations are ineffective because he knows that if you keep speaking, eventually everything he built will collapse. He doesn't want you to see the cracks forming. He doesn't want you to feel your progress. He wants you to quit before the breakthrough becomes visible. Your declarations also weaken the enemy's influence over your mind. The mind is the primary battlefield. This is where the enemy builds arguments, fears, illusions, and lies. But when your voice speaks truth, your mind begins to shift. Your declarations challenge the lies the enemy planted. You start replacing fear with courage, doubt with faith, confusion with clarity, heaviness with strength. You begin to think differently, see differently, respond differently. This mental shift is dangerous to the enemy because once your mind is free, the rest of your life follows. A believer with a renewed mind is unstoppable. A believer who knows truth cannot be manipulated. A believer who speaks truth cannot be deceived. The enemy knows that as long as he can influence your thoughts, he can influence your decisions. But your declarations break that influence moment by moment. Another way your declarations weaken the enemy's strategy is by interrupting his timing. Demons thrive on timing, attacking you when you're weak, bringing discouragement at the moment you're close to breakthrough, stirring chaos when you're tired, amplifying fear when you feel alone. But when you consistently speak declarations, you interrupt his timing, you disrupt his schedule, you ruin his opportunities, you create spiritual interference that stops him from landing the attacks he planned. Instead of finding a vulnerable believer, he finds a fortified warrior. Instead of finding an open door, he finds a wall of truth. Instead of finding weakness, he finds a declaration that blocks his approach. Your declarations also weaken the enemy's power because they invite God's presence into your atmosphere. Darkness cannot operate where light is consistently spoken. Every declaration releases light. Every declaration releases truth. Every declaration releases spiritual heat that burns away the enemy's influence. Demons cannot remain in an environment filled with truth. They suffocate under the weight of faith. They crumble under the pressure of divine authority. When you declare truth in your home, your room, your workplace, your atmosphere shifts. You do not have to shout. You do not have to be dramatic. Even a quiet declaration spoken with faith fills the room with a type of spiritual power that the enemy cannot endure. Declarations weaken the enemy because they remind him of what he fears the most. Your identity, your authority, your alignment, and the power of heaven backing you. When you declare truth, you are not only speaking to your situation, you are reminding the enemy that he has already lost. You are reminding him of the victory that stands against him. You are reminding him of the blood that defeated him. You are reminding him of the angels assigned to you. You are reminding him that you are not standing alone. Each declaration is a reminder to hell that its strategies are temporary, but your authority is eternal. Demons tremble when you know who you are, and declarations reinforce that knowledge. Deception is another tool the enemy uses, but your declarations pierce through deception like a blade. The enemy thrives on twisting truth, exaggerating fear, and magnifying problems. He wants you to believe lies about yourself, about God, about your future, about your worth. But when you speak declarations, you expose his lies and replace them with spiritual accuracy. Every time you declare something true, you pull down a lie he tried to build. Your voice becomes a weapon of correction, putting your spirit back into alignment with God's reality instead of the enemy's illusions. Your declarations also weaken the enemy's grip on your emotions. Demons use emotions to create instability. They try to amplify anxiety, heaviness, sadness, anger, confusion. But declarations stabilize your emotional world. They remind your heart of truth. They calm your spirit. They center your soul. They give you strength in moments of weakness. When your emotions become grounded in your declarations, the enemy loses one of his greatest access points. A stable believer is a dangerous believer because emotional stability makes you spiritually alert. You're no longer tossed around by every feeling. You become steady, unshakable, consistent. And that terrifies the enemy. Declarations weaken the enemy's strategy because they activate spiritual resilience. Each time you speak truth in the middle of pressure, you grow stronger. You develop endurance. You create a pattern of victory. You train your spirit to rise instead of collapse. The enemy wants you fragile because fragile believers are easy to break. But declarations make you spiritually tough. They build a warrior's mindset, a fighter's spirit, a soldier's heart. You begin to respond to attacks not with fear, but with fire. You speak with authority. You resist with confidence. You push back with strength. Demons hate resilience because they cannot outlast a believer who refuses to quit. Ultimately, your declarations weaken the enemy because they shift the battle into a realm where he cannot win. He thrives on silence, but he loses power when you speak. He thrives on lies, but he loses power when you speak truth. He thrives on fear, but he loses power when you speak faith. He thrives on confusion, but he loses power when you declare clarity. Every declaration pushes him further back, weakens his grip, destroys his plan, and reminds him that the authority in your voice carries more power than any strategy he tries to build. When a believer speaks a faith-filled declaration, something profound happens. Heaven bends toward that voice. Declarations are not just spoken words, they are spiritual connectors. They link your earthly situation to divine truth, pulling the reality of heaven into the circumstances of your life. Every time you speak a declaration with conviction, you are aligning yourself with God's will, God's promises, and God's power. Darkness cannot stand against alignment. Demons cannot operate where heaven's order has been spoken. Your declarations create a bridge between the seen and the unseen, the natural and the supernatural, the temporary and the eternal. They pull down what has already been finished in the spirit and anchor it into your physical world. Alignment is powerful because spiritual battles are won when heaven agrees with what you speak. Many people pray and hope, but declarations go a step further. They enforce. They take what God has already willed and bring it into manifestation. When you declare healing, you are aligning your body with heaven's truth that healing already belongs to you. When you declare peace, you align your atmosphere with the peace that heaven has already released. When you declare breakthrough, you align your path with divine timing and divine orchestration. Demons tremble at this alignment because they know they cannot resist heaven's order. They cannot fight something God has already settled. They cannot stop what God has already spoken. Every declaration you make becomes a spiritual command that pulls your life into divine structure and pulls your circumstances into obedience. Many people feel stuck because their mouth is aligned with their situation instead of with heaven's truth. They speak their fear, their pain, their weariness, their anxiety. But declarations shift that. They lift your words to a higher level. Instead of repeating what you see, you begin speaking what heaven sees. You stop echoing the problem and start echoing the promise. This shift in alignment weakens the enemy instantly. Demons build confusion through agreement. When you agree with fear, fear grows. When you agree with pain, pain deepens. But when you speak a declaration based on divine truth, you break agreement with darkness and form a new agreement with heaven. This alignment closes spiritual doors the enemy used to enter, and it opens doors that heaven has been waiting to release. Declarations also align your inner world. Your thoughts, emotions, and spirit begin to operate on heaven's frequency. Your mind becomes clearer. Your heart becomes steadier. Your spirit rises. When your inner world is aligned with truth, the enemy loses one of his greatest weapons: internal chaos. Demons rely on internal disorder to influence your decisions, weaken your confidence, and drain your strength. But when your declarations pull your inner world into alignment with heaven, chaos loses ground, confusion begins to fade, anxiety loses its grip, fear loses its influence. You begin to walk with clarity, confidence, and spiritual awareness. You start thinking with heaven's mindset instead of reacting with earthly fear. Alignment through declarations also positions you to hear God more clearly. Many people struggle to sense God's because their spirit is out of alignment. But as you declare truth consistently, your spirit becomes more sensitive to divine direction. You begin recognizing God's nudges, warnings, instructions, and revelations. You start noticing signs you previously ignored. Your discernment becomes sharper. The enemy hates this because believers who can hear God are extremely difficult to manipulate. Demons cannot deceive someone whose spirit is actively aligned with heaven's voice. They cannot mislead someone who can sense when God is redirecting them. Alignment through declaration strengthens your discernment to a level where darkness cannot infiltrate. Declarations also align your environment. When you speak truth in your home, it creates spiritual order. When you speak truth over your family, it realigns generational patterns. When you speak truth into the atmosphere surrounding you, it shifts the spiritual climate. Demons lose territory wherever heaven's truth is spoken. Your declarations become like spiritual pillars that lift and sustain the environment around you. You begin to notice that certain atmospheres no longer feel heavy. Certain patterns no longer repeat. Certain attacks no longer reappear. This is alignment. This is the environment adjusting itself to heaven's authority because your voice invited divine order into that space. Declarations also align relationships. You begin attracting people who match the renewed version of who you're becoming. And heaven will start moving people into your life who support your purpose and removing people who interfere with your destiny. When you speak declarations, you are essentially saying to the universe, only accept what aligns with God's will for my life. As a result, relationships begin to shift. Connections begin to realign. People who were draining you lose access. People who were meant to bless you begin to appear. Alignment attracts what belongs to your destiny and repels what doesn't. Another dimension of alignment is the alignment of time. When you declare truth, divine timing begins to accelerate. Delays start to break. Stagnation begins to move. Locked doors begin to open. Opportunities that were once distant begin to draw near. Declarations align your life with the timing heaven has appointed for you. The enemy often tries to distort timing, either rushing you into the wrong thing or delaying you from the right thing. But when you make faith-filled declarations, heaven realigns your steps. Suddenly things begin to happen that were stuck for years. Suddenly breakthroughs begin to unfold that seemed impossible. Your declaration becomes the key that unlocks God's timing over your life. Declarations also align your destiny. Your calling becomes clearer. Your path becomes straighter. Your purpose becomes more defined. When you declare truth, you step into a version of yourself that is aligned with God's original design for your life. You break free from distractions disguised as opportunities. You stop giving energy to things that don't align with where God is taking you. You begin to walk in a rhythm that matches heaven's intention for your destiny. Hell cannot stop a destiny that is aligned with heaven's voice. Demons tremble when they see a believer stepping into alignment because alignment makes you unstoppable. Finally, declarations align heaven to act on your behalf. When you speak declarations grounded in faith, Heaven's resources activate, angels move, doors shift, provision finds you. Battles you didn't even know were being fought start collapsing. You are not commanding God. You are partnering with Him. You are agreeing with what He has already willed. And agreement with God is the most powerful force in all existence. Demons tremble when your declarations align heaven with your earthly reality, because it means their influence is over. Their plans collapse. Their strategies lose power. Their footholds crumble. A believer in alignment is a believer walking with heaven's force behind every word they speak. Declarations are more than words. They are the bridge that pulls heaven into your life and pushes darkness out of your path. Every truth in this message leads to one powerful reality. Vash, you are far stronger in the spirit than the enemy ever wants you to believe. Your voice carries authority. Your identity carries weight. Your declarations carry fire. And when you stand in alignment with heaven, there is no force of darkness that can overpower you. You were never meant to live defeated, silent, or intimidated. You were designed to speak with conviction, to walk with boldness, and to shift atmospheres through your words. Every declaration you release becomes a weapon. Every truth you speak becomes a wall. Every alignment you embrace becomes a shield. Darkness trembles not because you are loud, but because you are awakened. The enemy survives on ignorance, but he collapses under revelation. And now that you understand the power behind your declarations, the authority behind your voice, and the spiritual identity you carry, you are stepping into a level of dominion that cannot be shaken. You are no longer reacting to the enemy. You are confronting him. You are not waiting for change. You are declaring it. You are not begging for strength. You are speaking from the strength already in you. Heaven stands with you. Angels respond to you. And darkness fears the authority that comes from your mouth. As you move forward, do not let this be a moment that fades. Let it be the beginning of a lifestyle. A lifestyle where you speak with confidence, pray with authority, and declare truth until everything around you aligns with heaven's will. You were created to walk in spiritual power, and now you have the revelation to activate it. Step boldly, speak boldly, declare boldly. The enemy already knows you are powerful. Now it's time for you to know it too. Good luck on your journey of strength, victory, and spiritual growth. And thank you for allowing me to walk with you through this message. May every word you speak carry fire. And may every step you take lead you into greater freedom, clarity, and divine protection.